Prime Minister has been accused of being pro-corporates and anti-farmers. So to mark the 365th day in office, the Prime Minister did a Kisan rally in Mathura. It seemed like a campaign speech where the Prime Minister said that the BJP had done so much work in the last 365 days that it will take more than 365 hours for him to be able to recount all his party's accomplishments. Take a look at some of the key excerpts from the Prime Minister's big speech to mark the first anniversary of his government.
अच्छे दिन वाह भाइयों बहनों पूरे दिन गए कि नहीं गए चोर लूट बंद हुई कि नहीं हुई
He had promised अच्छे दिन. 1 year later, he says बुरे दिन are over.
पिछले 1 साल में कहीं से कोई घोटाले की खबर आई है? सब लोगों के तो अच्छे दिन आए, लेकिन कुछ लोगों के बुरे दिन आए हैं। और जिनके बुरे दिन आए हैं, उनको जरा परेशानी हो रही है। भारत माता की!
Prime Minister Narendra Modi presented his report card on the eve of his government's anniversary at his rally in Mathura after paying tribute to Deen Dayal Upadhyay.
मैंने आपको वादा किया था, मैं प्रधानमंत्री नहीं, प्रधानमंत्री के नाते बैठूंगा।
Modi also made a veiled attack on the Congress party.
जब यूपीए की सरकार थी, देश के हाल पूरे थे कि नहीं थे? रोज नया भ्रष्टाचार सामने आता था कि नहीं आता था? रोज नया घोटाला सामने आता था कि नहीं आता था?
Fighting the perception battle over the land bill, Narendra Modi kept his speech centered around farmers.
कि आने वाले 3 साल में हिंदुस्तान के हर एक किसान के हाथ में सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड होगा।
The Congress, however, lashed out at the Prime Minister and claimed that his promises have turned out to be all hollow.
1 साल में नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने क्या किया? 1 साल के बाद किसान आत्महत्या कर रहा है। 1 साल के बाद गृहिणी अपने बजट को लेकर चिंतित है क्योंकि बच्चों को दाल, सब्जी और दूध खरीदने का पैसा लोगों के पास नहीं है।
In his hour-long speech, Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave his famous slogan, "Achhe Din" a new twist, and repeatedly asked the audience whether the Bure Din has gone or not. But the main thrust of his speech was the pro-poor and pro-farmer scheme launched by the government, and a clear indicator of the government's narration in days to come. With camera person Madan Prasad, Brijesh Pandey for India Today.
200 rallies, 200 press conferences, 5,000 Jan Sabhas. That's how the NDA government is celebrating 365 days. I want to go across now to Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, Jitendra Singh. He's joining us live on the newsroom this evening, sir. Good evening. Welcome. Your opponents are saying that there's a massive publicity blitz, that you should let your work speak for yourself. They're asking why the government is so desperate for publicity. They say if you worked hard, your work will speak.
No, I think it's just the other way around. The work is already speaking loud and clear. What is happening is that I think rather we should be appreciated for the very fact that we are offering ourselves with the report card and offering ourselves to the people so that they can know what we've done and what more could be done by us. Having said that, let me also add over here that the difference between the earlier government and the present government is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself enjoys such a huge popularity that wherever he goes, people want to watch him, and the television channels want to telecast him live, in spite of the fact that he doesn't carry a team of TV crew as was the practice a few years earlier. And that is something which is not getting digested by our opponents. So I think they need to take a leaf from the kind of popularity enjoyed by the Prime Minister and the kind of consistent, diligent work that has been put in by the
Minister,
government.
we've looked very carefully at all the opinion polls that have been put out to mark the first year of the Modi Sarkar. And the one recurring theme is that people seem most unhappy with the Prime Minister and this government's inability to address farmer concerns. 30% of the respondents in the India Today opinion poll said inability to deal with the problems of the farmers is the biggest failure in the first year of the Modi Sarkar, Minister?
No, certainly not. On the contrary, the evidence points out to the fact that right from day one, when the government took over, the entire decision making and the entire priority has been kept with the poor in focus, the farmer in focus. Can we turn our eyes away from the fact that it is this government which, for example, reduced the cutoff of 50% to 30% for a farmer to claim damages in case of a crop getting destroyed by way of rain or hailstorm, etc. It is this government which also included unseasonal rains or unusual rains in the category of calamities. And besides that, the host of the other schemes, be it the Jan Dhan Yojana or the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, ultimately, or the Atal Pension Yojana, ultimately they are meant for the benefit of the poor and the farmer included.
So we had former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram on India Today earlier today, and he said, you know, they came on a promise of Achhe Din. It's fair to ask a question 1 year later, what's the one thing that they've done that will create more jobs? He says your economic report card is very poor and you're not creating jobs.
No, see, if I go on that, it will take the whole day. To begin with, when the NDA government left, the growth rate was more than 8%. When we came back, it was just about 4 point something. Within a year, we have managed to raise it to more than 1 or 2%. So, living in an era that we do, the evidence-based era, it goes by figures and statistics. As far as the Achhe Din is concerned, as Prime Minister rightly pointed out today in Mathura, it is certainly bure din for some, and those who are dreading the bure din that are awaiting them are actually the ones who are making too much of noise about whether Achhe Din have happened or not.
The one hope, Jitendra Singh ji, that everyone had was that today is the day the Prime Minister would announce one rank, one pension. Ex-servicemen were hoping that the Prime Minister would deliver on his promise. The Prime Minister spoke, the celebrations are over. Ex-servicemen wondering when will their Achhe Din come, sir?
No, as far as specifically this issue of one rank, one pension is concerned, it has been made abundantly clear by the Defence Minister and also by the Defence Ministry officials that this is being worked out. Now, as far as making announcement today was concerned, one thing I think we must appreciate is that this government does not believe in working only on symbolism, and therefore this government is working with a long-term vision and the long-term planning for economic and social upliftment of the country, and therefore it allows the things to happen as a part of a process. But the processes are being very diligently, very keenly, very expeditiously followed, which is evident from the fact that Prime Minister himself and the entire team is working 20 hours a day.
Minister, one of the other things that have happened today is that the Aam Aadmi Party is marking its 100 days in power, and the Delhi High Court today came out with a verdict which said that your notification, which says that the anti-corruption branch of the Delhi police cannot look at cases against central government officers, is null and void. Arvind Kejriwal is claiming that to be a big victory for AAP and a big defeat of the Modi Sarkar, Minister.
No, I think these are certain things which go by the constitutional position, and the Ministry of Home Affairs has taken cognizance of it depending upon the law of the land. And having said that, let me also hasten to add that what Mr. Kejriwal is doing may give him some instant populism that he is looking for, but he has certainly inflicted a long-term damage, not only on the political milieu of Delhi, but also on the governance mechanism which the BJP-led government at the centre had been painstakingly trying to, remodel in the form of maximum governance and minimum government. It is not a small coincidence that no bureaucrat today wishes to work in under Delhi administration.
No,
so
but
I think
Manish Sisodia says that's not true. The Ministry of Home Affairs, and you are saying this, but the Aam Aadmi Party says that's not true. Who are these bureaucrats who don't want to work? They're saying no one has approached us for leave.
No, no, that is just deceiving themselves into believing what they wish to believe, and that is what has done more harm to them than good. The bureaucrats are there holding out meetings of their associations, and being somebody who is privy to the Department of Personnel and Training, unfortunately Delhi is one of the states where bureaucrats are certainly reluctant to be deputed, and that is something which should cause some amount of introspection on the political leadership in Delhi.
But from KK Venugopal to Gopal Subramaniam, all these legal luminaries have come out and actually sided with the Aam Aadmi Party instead of siding with the Ministry of Home Affairs. Are you confident your notification will stand legal scrutiny, sir?
No, we'll go by the law of land, but there are equal number of legal luminaries which think otherwise also. So I don't wish to get myself engaged into the nitty-gritty of the jurisprudence. But in the larger interest of the country, as was being counselled to Mr. Kejriwal and his team by the union government representatives time and again, that the best course for him would be to sit down with the Lieutenant Governor and sort it out in the larger interest of Delhi and its people. But the very fact that he chose the other course means that he is not serious about what he is saying. He is rather trying to find some instant cheap populism out of this.
But what will happen next? Because there could be a constitutional crisis in Delhi if the assembly tomorrow rejects the notification that's been passed. Then how will the central government deal with that situation, sir?
No, I will not try to be hypothetical, not try to exceed my brief, but sure, the government is capable of dealing with whatever situation it arises, and we'll cross the bridge when we reach.
Okay, what happens in the next 365 days? People have given a mixed report card on the first 365 days. Minister, what are the concrete promises that you believe that when we were to meet 1 year later, the NDA can stand back and proudly say, here are the promises that we've been able to fulfill, sir?
No, I'm glad you asked that question, Rahul, because when we took over on the evening of 26th May 2014, we had a huge baggage on our backs, the baggage of the entire unflattering legacy that was being handed over to us. We knew the responsibility was coming over to us. We were also trying to prepare ourselves. We were also worried. But I'm sure now these 365 days have to a certain extent got devoted to getting rid of that huge baggage. A lot of our energy and a lot of our hard work, in spite of putting in so many number of hours. But as you rightly said, when we come back next year on the same day, we would be rather relieved of this liability, and therefore we would be able to produce results better than what we have produced today.
No, but can you cite at least 3 or 4 concrete results that you believe you will be able to deliver within the next 365 days, sir?
I think the host of the pro-poor schemes that have been launched by the Prime Minister will see the light of the day. We've already into the Jan Dhan Yojana, which has generated more than 15 crore accounts, and I think very soon the realization of the good will also dawn on the common man of this country.
Well, the common man has to decide whether his Achhe Din are here. The Prime Minister is saying the Bure Din have ended. Jitendra Singh, Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, for joining us in the newsroom this evening. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.